Michael Odey, the nominee for chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, came under scrutiny at the Senate on Tuesday over his state of origin. Odey appeared before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Emergency Rule in Rivers State as part of his screening process. During the session, members of the committee questioned the legality and appropriateness of appointing someone from Cross River State to head Rivers Electoral Commission. Adamu Aliero, senator representing Kebbi Central, who raised the issue, demanded clarification from the nominee. Most of the governors normally nominate indigenes of the state to serve as the chairman of the State Electoral Commission, Aliero said. But in this case, the nominee for the position of chairman is from Cross River, not River State. I think we need clarification on that. In response, Odey confirmed that he hails from Cross River, but insisted that his nomination does not violate any law. There is no provision in the Constitution or the laws of River State that bars someone from another state from heading the Electoral Commission, he said. He added that his status as a non-indigene will serve as an advantage, allowing him to operate without local political interference. I have no political or personal ties in River State. That will help me remain neutral and fair in discharging my duties, he added. The nominee pledged to prioritize transparency, maintain independence, and work with stakeholders to ensure timely and credible elections in the state. While some lawmakers acknowledged his experience, others called for a review of the legal framework guiding such appointments. Odey, a retired official of the Independent National Electoral Commission, said he served for 35 years and supervised elections nationwide. He described his track record as one of professionalism, neutrality, and due process. Recall that President Bola Tinubu submitted Odey's name along with 6 others to the Senate for confirmation on June 12. I'll start with you, Daniel Momo, on this one. What is your take on this story?
First, I think that the president was not appropriately advised.
Okay.
We're talking of laws of River State, not the laws of Cross River, not the laws of Edo State. We're talking of the laws of River State. And yes, there is a state of emergency here. And the president assumes the duty of the suspended governor through his proxy, IBAS. And I think for me, it is irritating. If Odey works in River State, pays his taxes in River State, then you can even say to that extent you want to appoint him. I know Odey in INEC then, under the during the Goodluck Jonathan's time. Yes, he's a fine gentleman, but I think that there are things that are meant for the subnationals of Nigeria. Within the geographical region here, there are qualified people. People with honesty, people with integrity, people who can live above board, people who can become neutral in River State. Many from the 23 local governments here in River State. It is not correct to say because you are not from River State. If you are talking about Nigeria, no problem. Even in national INEC, the president is expected to nominate within the geographical region. Why did the president not go to say, okay, because of neutrality and others, let's nominate all INEC commissioners from one state? Why do we go to different states to have nominations of INEC? When a particular person's time expires in INEC, is nominated back from that region. It doesn't go to another region to say, oh, because the president wants neutrality, we are looking for capability. There's capability everywhere. There are people who will stand and say A is A in River State. And I think it is irritating. Yes, we are still grappling with the fact that we have a state of emergency here. But the fact is, what we are doing or what is intended to do or to achieve here is under the laws of River State, not the laws of Cross River State. And so there are people.
Odey wasn't quoting the Cross River State local government law when he spoke.
Yes, what he is saying is that the law he's referring to is the local government law, is the laws of River State. That law, nothing in that law that says, yes, he's not talking about federal law there. He's talking about that same law.
So if the law does not prohibit non-indigenes from heading RISIEC, what is wrong with a non-indigene heading RISIEC?
What is wrong?
Are you privy to that law?
No. See, what is wrong in having a reverse man? That should be the first question. What is wrong in having a reverse man there? If we now look at everything is wrong to have a reverse man, then we begin to consider having an outsider.
But the question does the local government law prohibit a non-indigene from heading RISIEC?
Sometimes it is not every single details that must be in a law.
But then it is these details that are absent that are taken advantage of. These are the lacunas that one would build on, don't you think?
As a young boy then, immediately after my NYC in Anambra State, I loved to teach at that time. I served there. The principal saw what I could do. He wrote that and asked that, would I want to teach? And I said, yes. And I was absolved to teach there. During the Goodluck Jonathan's time, when they increased the minimum wage, this man was still the governor. What's his name now? Peter Obi was the governor. There were a lot of battle regarding the state finances, whether it can accommodate every other person. Some of us were removed from the civil service, not because we were qualified or not qualified, but because first, the indigenes needed to be absolved. And we were shifted out of it. And you can't protest, you can't do something because it is within their state to do. There are people. Today, you can't just say Daniel is a free man in Nigeria. I am not, sir. I am from Edo State. I can go to Edo State the same way I would not be able to challenge people here for a right. I have a right of something in Edo State as Nigeria, yes, but in Edo State, in my local government, I have a right to a particular thing. I'm saying, are we saying that the whole of Rivers State in this 23 local government, we cannot have one person nominated that will be neutral, that is capable, the competence in it? No, I do not agree. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. So instead of asking, why does anything stop Odey from acting? The question is, does anything stop a reverse man from acting? So I think under natural justice, fair play, we should. Because if you read recently, they just shared money to 36 states of the Federation. There are reasons why money are shared to 36 states of the Federation to attend to the needs of the people within that geographical region. And I think it's an insult, in all honesty, for IBAS to nominate a cross-rivers man when he's superintending over the affairs of the people of Rivers State. This is me saying
now,
that.
This is another lacuna. At no point in time did the president say it was IBAS that nominated.
It is IBAS.
Hold on.
Okay.
The nomination, according to reports, the president nominated and the president submitted the list.
No, if you remember.
So when you say it is IBAS, are you saying the voice is the voice of Jacob, the hand is the hand of Esau?
No, I want to quote the president.
All right.
He said, no new laws or policies should be made by IBAS. And that any of those appointments to be made should be made through, not him nominating. It's made through his office to the National Assembly. So it is assumed that IBAS nominated, sent to the president sent to the National Assembly.
Okay.
So that is how it works. The president didn't come here. It's IBAS who is here, who sacked some persons, who retained some. So it's IBAS who is running the show here on behalf of Mr. President. Though Mr. President assumed the duty of the suspended governor through his proxy, IBAS. So IBAS is the one. So I'm saying here, yes, because sometimes we can't question IBAS because IBAS, that you see, is the president. So the president has his this thing all over Nigeria. His constituent is all over Nigeria. So I'm saying that, please, it offends natural justice to leave the almost how many millions people in Rivers State, and you are telling me in all honesty and fairness that there is no one single person in Rivers State that you can nominate to head a local government thing that has the laws to do of Rivers State. Please note this, that this law here doesn't work in Cross River. Neither will Cross River law work here. There are reasons why State House of Assembly enact those laws.
All right, very well. But then the law you're talking about clearly does not stop in non-indigene. I need you to understand
of course,
that.
of course.
Why I understand the angle of the perspective of natural justice, equity, fair play, and all that. But we are in a situation where we are not looking at sentiments and emotions, but we are looking at the spirit and the letter of the law. Why I understand what you're saying, I'm also looking at what the law, does the law prohibit this from happening? And like you said, the law does not prohibit it. So now there is a lacuna, and that lacuna was taken advantage of.
There is
but
no
before
lacuna.
I get back to you,
okay,
what is your take on this story?
Well, for me, there's nothing new under the sun. Well, I say there's nothing new under the sun. I could recall our president today when he was governor of Lagos State. We had Chris Akabeze from Anambra State as a commissioner in his government. Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who became the governor of Osun State, was also a commissioner for works in Lagos State.
Under Tinubu.
Under Tinubu.
Okay.
Lai Mohammed from Kwara State was also a commissioner in Tinubu's government.
In Lagos State, he was governor.
Okpeyemi Bamidele, who today is in the Senate from Ekiti State, was also a commissioner for information and strategy in Tinubu's government. Now let's come back home. During Amechi's tenure, we had Chuma Chinye from Delta State, who was a commissioner in Amechi's government. In Nyesom Wike's government, we had Emeka Onowuanya Sodike from Uguta, was a commissioner in Nyesom Wike's government. Even Fubara had a non-indigene, Sam Anya, from Abia State as a commissioner in Rivers State. So nothing stops this Odey from becoming INEC RISIEC chairman in Rivers State, given the fact that he is eminently qualified. He has a requisite experience and knowledge, having been superseded so many elections in states. So he has that. Then thirdly, the situation we find ourselves in Rivers State, we need an unbiased umpire. Somebody without any political leaning, somebody who is not from Rivers State, somebody who will stand firm and say this should be this should be that. So for me, I don't see anything wrong in having Odey as our RISIEC chairman, given the situation we find ourselves. So any person crying that because he's a non-indigene, the law of the nation does not say you cannot hold an appointment in another state. So if the Constitution of Nigeria, which supersede all other state laws, and we find out that there is no time that state laws run at consistent with, parallel with federal laws. So for me, I don't see anything wrong with Odey being RISIEC chairman. He is eminently qualified. He has a requisite knowledge and experience, and I believe he will do the job very well. So that's my take on this.
Now, and the question I want to ask is the concern that the sole administrator, Abbas, is from Cross River State, appointing RISIEC chairman. Well, I wouldn't say Abbas appointed, because the president appointed, and it was the president that submitted that list. The sole administrator is from Cross River State. Now, we now have a RISIEC chairman that's also from the same state. My question is Cross River State the only state in this? Let's just say, okay, let's narrow it down to South-South. Is Cross River the only state?
For me,
South-South. Why Cross River State?
It could be a matter of coincidence. Why I say a matter of coincidence? In life, there are always cases of pure coincidence. So, for the president in his wisdom to have chosen a Cross River man to be our RISIEC chairman in Rivers State is for reasons best known to him. So that's my take on it. We cannot challenge the president. You cannot question him. If you know, or if you want to question, you know the channels to go through.
All right, very well. Apparently, you have something to
No, you
say,
see, first, I'm happy that first the Senate had put it on hold, and they demand answers as to why a Cross River man would come and serve under something that has to do purely with a state called River State. The examples he gave are totally different from what is happening. One, when he mentioned the likes of Rauf Aregbesola, even the same Okoyemi Bamidele, who is heading this, the leader of the Senate, and others, Kabweze, who were in the government of the President Tinubu, I think there are differences between an assistant, the man elected by the people of Lagos State, elected by the people of Rivers State, from the examples that you give, can draw knowledge from outside to assist him in running the affairs of his state. That is a totally different thing. But when it comes to issues as sensitive as what Odey is coming here for, and saying that because he's not from here, and I said, no, sir, no, I disagree. You see, anything that has to do or go against what is called natural justice. Natural justice is common fair play. That is why you have states. That's why today you and I didn't come from the same state. Even if we come from the same state, we come from different local governments in that same state. So I think that for natural justice, for fair play to the people of Rivers State, I think, in all honesty, this appointment is an insult to the people of Rivers State. In all honesty, are you saying that there are no capable men and women here in Rivers State who can stand up and be above shoulders to say that no is no, yes is yes? There is only Odey who now has all that knowledge. No, I disagree. You see, there are when we do what, there's something done about Nigeria under Transparency International, where they look at the corruption index all over the world. It is not in the amount of persons that is convicted that is based on the data drawn. It is the perception that people have about a particular thing that draws up those data. If you begin to appoint, for example, Anibas is from Cross River State, and then you are now bringing another Cross River man, in all honesty, what is the perception around River State? What perception? What are you trying to project? What are you trying to tell to the people who had worked hard here in River State, built River State to what it is today, that you will say with clear conscience that you cannot see among the millions of persons who do business in River State, who live in River State, who are indigenous of River State, you cannot appoint one person, and that we ought to travel in the Christmas journey to go to Cross River State? Come on! Come on! For what? Why?
All right.
You saying that the president, first, the president is also elected, and by virtue of the situation we find ourselves and the powers vested in him in the Constitution to oversee what is happening in River State, he has, in his wisdom, chosen someone from Cross River State who is not just an ordinary person, a retired INEC official that has served 35 years meritoriously, that will be unbiased in the interest of peace in River State. Come on, let's look at it from the other. In life, there is nothing you do that people will not say. Even if the president had come to River State to choose a Rivers indigene, people will still complain. So in life, there's nothing you do that people will not complain. So let's leave it at that. The president, in his wisdom, declared emergency rule in River State to forestall breakdown of law and order. Granted, we are in the 3rd month of it. If also in his wisdom, he has decided to give us an unbiased electoral umpire to conduct something as sensitive as a local government election, so be it.
So now, if I understand what you're saying, Edenko, first of all, Daniel had a concern that Abbas appointed Odey to be the RISIEC chairman, and Abbas is not elected. And against the backdrop of what you said earlier, when you mentioned names of people who were cabinet members in, different states, who worked along with different state governors, but we have indigenes of other states. Now, in the backdrop of that, Daniel said that there was a difference because those were elected, democratically elected governors who now decided to bring people from outside, and borrow it from their expertise. And he's saying in the case of Abbas is not elected, but a sole administrator, right? And your argument is that Abbas is representing a democratically elected president.
No, I didn't say so.
What exactly is your point?
The president nominated. If you check the letter that was transmitted to the Senate, it wasn't signed by IBAS. It was written and signed by the president. So let's leave IBAS out of this picture.
You're leaving IBAS out of it.
Yeah, we're leaving IBAS out of it.
You're saying that these people, Odey in question, is nominated by a democratically elected president. Oh, okay.
Who the Constitution of Nigeria empowers also to oversee in a state of emergency like this.
All right. Daniel.
No, I leave it at that because it's a coincidence that you nominated IBAS from Cross River to run the affairs of River State. And then the same IBAS is now, the same
Odey is from Cross River.
Is also, so it's a coincidence. Let me leave it at that it's a coincidence. But in all honesty, to the people of River State, it's not fair.
So fingers crossed, because to all intents and purposes, this is going to fly at the Senate.
Of course it will.
No, I doubt it. I doubt whether it will fly. I'm telling you.
Daniel.
See, there are sensitive things. That's why I talked about perception. Perception is real. But perception might not be correct. You know, as we're talking now, I'm looking, why Cross River? That's the first thing that came to my mind, which I call natural justice. When Odey, I check, where is he from? Cross River. Why? IBAS from Cross River, Odey from Cross River. Could that be a mistake? There were commissioners who served meritoriously, who left same way Odey left. We had one from Akwa Ibom who cancelled Akpabio's election. What's his name again? That guy that came from the civil society cancelled Akpabio's election at that time. There are people, there is one from Bayelsa State. Okay, why are we going all to Cross River?
Cross River is in South-South.
It's in South-South.
Bayelsa is in South-South.
Who is closer to us more?
No, but it's
who is closer to us more?
Regardless of whether it's Bayelsa or Cross. You're talking of, initially you were speaking of
yes, hold on. See,
geopolitical zone.
My point is,
yes,
could it truly be a coincidence?
All right.
A coincidence that IBAS is from Cross River, then Odey again from same Cross River?
Of course.
I leave it at that.
Why are you saying it's a coincidence? Are you the president?
What I say is a coincidence. IBAS is from Cross River State. One. Then the president sent 17 names to the Senate for confirmation. It happened that
the most sensitive among them.
It's not the most sensitive.
It happened.
It's not the most sensitive. It's just on its
only that one. It's not Cross River. Only that one. Not Cross River. Only that one. Others are rivers.
Yes.
Okay, only that one. It's just Cross River.
Yes.
And then it just happened.
It just happened.
It's coincidence.
Okay.